in those days, are our people being taught what they are supposed to do, what they are not supposed to do? Is the civil education being inculcated in our people? That is very cardinal. So if we miss out the educational aspect, we'll be shooting ourselves in the foot. I believe, and that is, I think, my understanding, not that I have taken statistics, but with the time that I've traveled around the country, I've discovered that there is a cream of people that have stayed or dwelled in cities or districts who we call they are the learned. Unfortunately, the so-called unlearned people are in the far-flying areas of our country. Are they receiving the same civic education that...
as the ones in the city?
Exactly. So now there is need for governance to roll down this education to our people so that they too understand where we are as a country. So to answer your question, I think there's still need for us as the government to do more in as far as educating our people as regards the same.
Okay, so my next question is still hovers around the issue of education. I'm talking about the free-for-all syndrome by people. When government is rolling out programs and they think that government programs should be for free, others will say, Nivaboma, you know, it all borders on education. What should be done to fully, you know, to fully educate our people and let them understand? I know we can make reference to what just happened recently, where there was the government introduced the default rates for people that got loans.
Yes.
And the number for young people who complain that they don't have access to funds,
yes.
And yet the default rate was so high. I think it was close to 90 somewhere there, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So there's that Nivaboma syndrome.
Yes.
And as a politician, what do you
yes.
think can be done, you know, to tackle that?
You see, I think that issue, we've handled it. You know, government has a way of managing its people.
Mm-hmm.
It also has got a way in which it handles its finances. It's very delicate.
So even as we explain about civic education, there's also the aspect of when we talk about the numbers. What's the term they use again? Because literacy is into understanding yes. how the numbers work. It's just in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was saying, government
financial
has
literacy. Sorry.
Financial literacy. Brilliant. Government has a way in which it manages all these systems. People in time past, I think the governments then had brought in a system where they felt our people needed to be helped. They would be helped through maybe provision of certain services, which people now thought, this is for the government. Whatever I do to it, I don't mind or I don't care. They would not even take keen interest to protect that. For instance, we did boreholes in maybe in various wards. Mm-hmm. And I took time to just go and see how our people are using those hand pump facilities. Mm. You would be shocked to find that some people would literally get on top of that equipment, and the way they would be operating it, like they would not need it even tomorrow. Another simple example, there was a borehole that we had pitched in Kankoyo, Kwacha. Mm-hmm. It is a solar panel. So there's a pump that was put there. Mm-hmm. 2-3 days after putting up that borehole, people were celebrating. Shortly, the pump was taken away by the community. So, because this thing is for the government, whoever does anything to it, they don't care. Meaning the community should have protected that. But they started calling, no, you should have put security there, but it is within your vicinity.
Ignorance, what would you attribute that to?
Exactly. Number one, there's ignorance. Sometimes, the Bemba says, amano ya chifyalirwa. Sometimes let us not put the blame on literacy.
Oh, okay, I get your point.
Yes, let's not put the blame on literacy. Where is this consciousness? Where you feel, if I destroyed this, which is saving the community, and how is the community going to live? How is the community going to stay? They are now having hard times to go and fetch water from far areas. Meaning you, wafirwa. Okay, so because the government wanted probably to help the community, and the community has not maybe inculcated that into themselves, we tend to be failing in certain areas. That's why I feel democracy needs to be guided.
Now,
there is need for guidance in democracy. Pamo, government must put its foot down. As far as we appreciate it is democracy, but when you do this, then you are crossing the line.
And it defies logic, really. You gave the example of the borehole there, but ZESCO also complains about their installations,
Exactly.
being stolen.
Yes.
I'm just thinking in these lines, could it also be that maybe the lack of unemployment is also beginning to take a toll on the people? That people would first think of, you choose, because tampering with a ZESCO installation is very dangerous.
Yes.
People, you even see someone getting electrocuted, but still more people will still go and do that. Could it be that people feel it's a choice that I need to make between going to bed hungry or taking a risk?
But Banda, here is the thing. Do we now need to live a life of condoning criminality? Every other person, every other citizen in our country, yes, they need to eat, but should they eat through criminality? Even a person that has not gone to school, they know doing such kind of a thing is evil, is not allowed, is actually a criminal act. If you looked at the statistics, most of these activities are done in the night. Why are they done in the night? Because of the criminal mind. If they were not a criminal act, they would be done in broad daylight. But they are done in the night when everyone retires to bed. So meaning there's criminality being applied there. And anything which is to do with criminal activity, that should not be condoned. Whether you want to eat or otherwise, as long as it is taking the toll of criminal nature, that should not be condoned.
So there should be then, how do you bridge the gap then between the authorities and the people? Because the people should also understand. I mean, why would you attempt to remove an installation that is providing water to the people? Who would think in those lines? So how then do we bridge the gap between the authorities and whether it is literacy or criminality? How do we bridge that gap?
Zambia today has a government in place that is all-inclusive. And I want to appreciate the president, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, for having such kind of a big heart to include every Zambian in bridging up this kind of a gap. Yes, we have understood, we know very well to say there are certain people, there's a certain class of people that, are still hungry out there. And they need to be fed. But the government has sat down and brought in all these activities. Number one, through CDF, anyone is free to group up, to team up, and, apply for a grant. A grant is money that is given to you to start up a business, to start up a project, and you do not retain that money. Exceedingly, they've also allowed us to apply for a loan through CDF. So if all these facilities have been given to us, and by the way, Those days, then in previous governments, you would apply for a grant, you would apply for a loan, but it was to be approved only in Lusaka or in Ndola. But things have been decentralized. This you can only do with your local facility or your local municipality, which is the council. You just walk into those offices, you apply, you are given what you need. What more would people want? Also, the expression of a leveled play field where you are free. You can go and get a field anywhere. You can do business anywhere without anybody victimizing you. Capitalism is dead. It's long gone. No one would come in the market and harass you for any reason. This time, everyone else is doing their business. So there are all these being provided by the government. What more would one need?
Okay. Now, we as a country has been, independent for over 60 years now. How old are we? Are we 64?
60 plus.